friends, how are you today? Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so glad you enjoyed my last video, which was a full face of products that came in under $5. Everything was from Walmart, and I really had a great time doing that video. And I did notice some comments. People were saying, have you looked into the makeup at Dollar Tree? Do you have any info on that? And I have done some Dollar Tree videos, so if you do put into your YouTube search, Emily Noel Dollar Tree, you'll find some things that have been done fairly recently. But as I was searching that myself, I thought maybe not recently enough, like maybe 7 months ago. So while Biddy and I were at Dollar Tree yesterday, we were looking at the Valentine's stuff. I thought, let's look into some of this beauty stuff because actually it was pretty well stocked. Our local store, we have one that just opened up in town within the past year. And I've really felt that beauty-wise, it never carried as much as some of the other stores. But yesterday when I was in there, I was like, man, I'm coming up with quite a few new to me things. And a lot of them are from this line called Be Pure. This is what the little logo looks like. Also, everything, yes, is $1.25. That's the way it works at Dollar Tree. But I've had very good experiences with a lot of things in that range. So I had quite a few finds this time around. It's not like a full face, but I just thought I'd go through what I got, kind of like trying on my Dollar Tree haul here. One is this Blur Face Primer. Isn't this something that L'Oreal has that's pretty popular? It says essentially ageless, and that whole idea is kind of similar to L'Oreal's Age Perfect range. This primer is said to have hyaluronic acid and vitamin E. We're going to try it on. It's pink. What does it feel like? Smooth. Has almost no scent. Hydrating. It doesn't feel like there's a real slip to it. Whenever I hear the word blurring, my mind goes to Benefit Professional. Doesn't feel like that. It feels more moisturizing than that. I'm adding a little bit more. For some reason, I can't get the thought of like pink cake frosting out of my head when that came out on my finger. Now, just because I'm not feeling like I'm seeing a lot of blurring right now on my skin doesn't mean that won't occur when a coverage product goes on top. Sometimes that's when you notice the effect of a primer like that. But it certainly felt rich. It felt moisturizing. It didn't feel thin in the least. So let's see how another product goes on top. This I did not purchase this time around at Dollar Tree. I already had this essentially Ageless Hydrating Serum Foundation. Again, we're thinking really in the ballpark of that Age Perfect Serum Foundation from L'Oreal, but I did see this product in Dollar Tree. I was like, oh, I have that. We're getting 0.5 fluid ounces here, and in the L'Oreal, you're getting a solid fluid ounce, but you're paying $1.25. So I'm going to dab this around, and I just thought you might want to see like how a coverage thing goes on, how this works with the primer, and also I did find a new concealer, so I just didn't want to leave this step out. I'm going to use my little Profusion buffing brush here. This is a little yellowy in tone. Might be a little better if I had some sun on my skin. I've been hibernating. We've been snowy. And today, as I shoot this on a Monday, it's our first day getting back to school. And it's going to be a pretty busy week in terms of practices and it's going to and fro. At the same time, the house may be a bit quieter for some short windows. Okay, I'm getting that all blended in. I'm seeing, do I notice any blurring? I do possibly see some blurring around the nose. But that foundation, it doesn't overly impress me. It doesn't make me go like, oh my gosh. And maybe it's just because the tone isn't spot on for me right now. Even though it says Hydrating Serum Foundation, I feel like the actual hydration provided by that is somewhat minor, and it's giving me a light to light medium coverage, you know? I feel like it looks good. My hands are getting so dry from hand washing and me kind of forgetting that hot water can really dry out your hands. Just like doing dishes, hand washing. I gotta tend to that dryness. Where's my band-aid cream? Seriously, I'm doing it right now. It's not itchy or anything, but I just gotta take care of that. That's the sneaky thing that dries out your skin, I think, is super hot showers, hot water in your sink, hand washing. It's like, yes, we're trying to steer clear of cold and flu, but I'd appreciate if my skin could cope with that. For a total of, what, $2.50, I'd say we're looking pretty good right now all over my skin. That definitely evened things out. But this is the new thing I found, is this Hydrating Under Eye Concealer. It says this shade is fair. I hope it's fair enough. Hyaluronic acid, benefits of an eye cream and a concealer all in one. Let's try this out. I'm super excited to try it. The thing you're gonna sacrifice a little bit of in Dollar Tree, as I'm sure you know if you've gone through the makeup section at all, shade selection can be a problem. It's gonna be hard to find a wide range. Sometimes you're gonna come upon a product that really interests you and they have it in one color, okay? So you just don't know what you're gonna get. Probably depends on location, the newness of the product, but this Be Pure line, they're really making an effort, I feel like. It's not like a line that's just giving you leftovers like, oh, here's this one discontinued random thing from Maybelline. It's a line for Dollar Tree. And this tube seems ample. You're getting 0.4 fluid ounces. It looks like plenty in here. And as I squeeze it out here, the tube seems really full, not like it's just been pumped full of air. We like to see that. I have no idea what I'm getting into on the coverage. So I just did a small amount. Texture seems fairly thin, but not like watery thin, just like it's gonna be kind of lightweight. And I'm gonna dab that around here. I'm trying to think, what would this be comparable to? Like, what are they trying to mimic here? Let me know if it occurs to you what that is. I actually need a little bit more. I dabbed everything I had there on the under eye, and I wanna get some on my nose and my chin and stuff. I'm gonna use my little double-ended concealer brush here from the TikTok shop set. I'm gonna begin dabbing over that. What is our coverage like? Like, what are we getting here? And I know there's also an essentially ageless doe foot applicator concealer. I believe I've used that one in the past, but this was definitely new to me. Seems hydrating. Coverage, I'm thinking the coverage is pretty light with it as far as concealers go. My under eyes weren't like awful in terms of darkness today, but look at the light catching that area as I turn my head. It's juicy right now. Very, very juicy. I would say, like, let's build some up just for fun and see how much more coverage we can get, but I don't know if my skin can take that amount of moisture. I get what they're saying about the benefits of concealer and eye cream together. They did that. Okay. Well, my skin looks really good right now, don't you think? I think that shade actually was really perfect for me. Now, something I did pick up from LA Colors, because they actually had it in ivory this time, this little pressed powder. I feel like it's always in a shade that's too dark for me whenever I come across this. And we're talking very basic pressed powder here, little plastic compact. It's just a foam puff. The feel of this, fairly creamy actually. Kind of surprised by the amount of pigment coming off on my finger. What do? Let's try to set with this. Let's set the under eye with this. Okay, I'm gonna kind of wrap the provided sponge around my finger like that, get some, and just press it into my under eye. Exactly where I placed it, it's really sticking. I need to get up even higher. I want to be bright all over. It's adding light and brightness. I've never done this before. Come on, LA Colors. There we go. Maybe a little wider surface area would be good. So this ivory shade is super brightening up on my under eye, like crazy brightening. I'm gonna try to dust away some excess after this, and meanwhile, get a light bit for setting my T-zone. It might not be a shade that I even want to wear all over the rest of my skin, but for under eye, I think we could get into this maybe. Let's just see. Let's use a little brush to kind of blend what was applied. If there's excess, we can get rid of it. There's really not a lot of excess. Interesting takeaway here. I feel fully brightened on the under eye. However, looking closely, the product just is giving me a look of thickness down there that I wouldn't get with Maybelline Fit Me or a variety of other loose powders. The application was thicker here. If I try this again, I would use a brush because the product is actually fairly soft, meaning quite a bit is coming off on that sponge, and it was more than I needed. And I'm not really blaming the product, it's just the way I chose to put it on just then, I think gave me quite a bit because the product is soft. I'm just getting a little on my brush because my nose looks kind of red. Okie dokie. I think I can pretty much fill out the rest of these complexion steps for you. This is my Dollar Tree bronzer, and I know I saw this when I was at Dollar Tree yesterday, but I've had this for a while, the LA Colors Matte Bronzer Bronzed Beauty. So it's a flat little compact, but this is a good bronzer. Good quality, matte bronzer, basic bronzer, but nothing wrong with it. You're gonna see pigment. LA Colors is a cruelty-free line, and again, everything coming in at $1.25, so consider that. I should use this more. Nice big pan. Sometimes I think a lot of people like get the Dollar Tree stuff and use it for the novelty of doing like a Dollar Tree full face or a Dollar Tree makeup video. But some of this stuff I could see legitimately finding its way into my rotation. I already have a blush from this line and I found a new shade in it and I'm pumped to use that. I love that blush, that formula that they're doing. Okay, so I've got gentle contour. I could build it up more, but I'm not really even feeling like I want to. Now, like I said, the Essentially Ageless line has these luminizing blushes. It says infused with camellia oil. Made in the USA, paraben and phthalate free. Nice little packaging here. Again, this shade is called Poppy Pink. What I had before was more of a coral. And the pigment here, like really soft, fully pigmented, could definitely hang with other more expensive blushes just by the feel. But let's put it on for you. See how much it's picking up on my brush? Blending it in. Who couldn't go for this color? Nice classic pink. I'm building a little. Yeah, that's exactly it right there. Love that! Dollar Tree created this look, my friends. That under eye is bright as all get out. I can't get over it. I'm kind of like blending up more toward that under eye with this blush because I don't want to look too bright. In review, what did we do here? We used this primer, this Blur Face Primer, which I thought was okay. It definitely added more moisture. It felt a lot richer in comparison to the texture of the Essentially Ageless Hydrating Serum Foundation. This kind of thin, very light, did give me some light to medium coverage, I felt like, but this was the thing with the moisture in terms of these two products. Blurring, well, now I really do feel blurred, but I've certainly gone on top with powder, and I know powder has that effect. Really thought this was a cool thing. This Hydrating Under Eye Concealer, the generous size here, which is not always the norm with Dollar Tree, and a really full feeling tube. I've got a radar for tubes that are partially full. They're giving it to you here. I would continue to experiment with that, and I would really like to see that with one of my standard under eye setting powders like Wet n Wild or Maybelline Fit Me. And even with the LA Colors, it doesn't feel like particularly dry, but it just looks kind of dry up close setting with this. The fair shade of the LA Colors pressed powder, definitely brightening. If I had it to do all over again, I would apply this lightly with a brush to set the under eye, okay? Because then I just get a softer application. This bronzer, thumbs up, and love the Essentially Ageless blushes. I already knew I liked them, but I really like this color. So the next couple of things I got a mascara, and I got a rose oil lip balm that's like color changing, both from the Be Pure line. I'm gonna go on with my makeup and then we'll end off with those two things. Actually, I think we can pull off a Dollar Tree eye look too from something that was bought somewhat recently, but not this last trip. I did my brows, I did my Milani eyeshadow primer, but this 6-color eyeshadow palette from LA Colors, I'm about certain it was Dollar Tree. It could have been DG, but I think it was actually Dollar Tree. So we've got mattes, shimmers, seems pretty everyday to me. The shade is Haute, H-A-U-T-E. So we'll just do this and then we'll go on with that mascara. I'm gonna go to this little shade right here. Not too powdery. You know I've done some work with LA Colors. I've done Dollar General videos and I know I've found and enjoyed different eyeshadow stuff. Like for example, let me show you. Dollar General, we're talking now. They sell this palette from LA Colors because, you know, they're charging a little more over there at the DG, but this nude palette's really good. Dollar Tree, that's where it's gonna be $1.25. So I'm smoothing out that color, and now we're moving right over to the neighbor shade that looks a little darker. This is gonna be so everyday basic. That may not be what everybody wants, but it's what I got here. Thus far, nothing's behaving in an unexpected or like lesser good way compared to other eyeshadow I use. Now pull out your flat brush and we're gonna go to that matte brown, which is right here. Nothing's kicking up a lot of powder for me. Now here's where I would expect that shade to be darker. For how it looks in the pan, it's coming off pretty soft. I'll build. It's a little bit buildable, but it's still gonna be pretty light. Just so you know. Man, I can't believe we had an entire week off for snow. Like, that's crazy. I mean, I understand why we had a ton of ice. We had what will become a very memorable ice storm, and then an unusually large amount of snow for this area on top of it. So, I mean, I do understand, but I'm just like, wow. Christmas break got extended by a whole other week. All right, so that's been patted on the outer half of my lid. I've tried to approach the crease with it. It's just not quite as dark as I'd think it would be, but we're managing here. going in with a smaller brush, which will give me a more concentrated application. Kinda. It's kind of just also shearing it around, maybe. I don't know. That dark brown is just flat out not the best, my friends. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It'll give you something, just not quite what you think it should. Like, even as I try to build it more, what would normally happen with a shadow is you dip into a deep shade with a little concentrated brush and you get more concentrated application. And this just didn't really want to go there too much. But at the same time, nobody would really know the struggle unless you stop them and you like explain to them what happened, right? Otherwise it just looks like a soft neutral eyeshadow look. Should I become that crazy person? Hey, you gotta hear what happened with this eyeshadow today. I'm gonna take this straight up matte. There are two shimmers here and they're not too bad, okay? The brown and the like taupe in there, not too bad. Really seem pretty smooth. I've just got this soft natural vibe going and I'm gonna continue with it with that cream coming in from the inside. It's no Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3, but it is the natural look most people seem to want these days. So. What if, just when you think Em's maybe finished the look, what if we just went into that shimmer with the small pointed brush? I don't know if it'll even want to layer up on top of my look. You know what? She's going a little darker. She's giving me a little more without even really looking like a shimmer because I'm not packing it on, I'm kind of buffing it in for a little lift. See that? It's that guy. Don't be scared to use the shimmer in an unexpected way. That brought it home for me there. That was good. Then just for added softness, I'll take my blending brush over that. Blend, 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 nothing else on it. Blend the edge. $1.25, yes. Okay, that did it. I thought this was gonna be a stronger shade, but this turned out to be the real depth of the palette. And this would be fine to incorporate too if you wanted to, but I was just kind of keeping it sort of smooth. What is a hydrating mascara? We're about to find out. Hyaluronic acid gives your lashes a boost of hydration and volume. It seems like something Neutrogena would tout. The brush looks super basic, super spiraled around, a little tapered toward the tip. It's the kind of brush that tends to scare me a little bit. I wish it was spikier. I wish the bristles were shorter, but maybe it'll come through. It's infused with hyaluronic acid. Am I on track time-wise today? I have to start caring about time again. They're curled, they're standing at attention. Let's go, Be Pure mascara. I do appreciate the tapered tip. I'm glad that's there. I want it to pile up some major volume and thickness. It's what I've gotten accustomed to lately using my Essence I Love Extreme Volume mascara. One gentle coat. One gentle amount of mascara. Let's add some more. I'm really like working it in there. The only place the brush looks loaded up yet is the very tip, which is dangerous. You know, you don't want to keep all that goop on there. Got a few little flecks I'm gonna have to scrape away. That's 2 coats. Let's do coat 3. It's kind of making my lashes stick together, y'all. It's doing that classic thing that I don't love to see out of a mascara like this. Like I can see at the base where lashes are going. They were apart and they're going like this. They're teaming up, looking like less by the end of the lash. 3 coats. I don't know if I have the guts to do more. Leave it at that for now. See if it holds that curl, because right now the curl's looking great. We did have a leak. I don't know if I told you guys. We had water coming through a light fixture in our bathroom directly into the bathtub. It was an ice dam situation on our roof. I don't know how to explain it. Bub practically made me a flow chart. The ice kind of collects in certain areas and it keeps the water from just running down your roof, and then it gets up under shingles and then you can start to have a leak possibly. So we had that, and Bub's friends with another lawyer who represents some roofing people, and they were able to run out and help us, like chip off the ice. I don't know if they put some salt up there too, but no more trouble since, and we have had melting for a day or two here. Not everything's gone at all, but we have had some melting happen and things have been holding so far, but there'll also be some damage that needs to be tended to from the inside with that light fixture. Everything's got to get dried out before we can use the lights. It's a fire hazard to be running those lights when there's been water in there. So the moment we saw that go down, we shut off all power to that bathroom. Bet you didn't plan to hear about ice dams in this video. So I'm just doing the same thing. I'm not even keeping track of exactly how many coats I've got going. My takeaway with this mascara is that I can build it to a point of satisfaction, but looking up close, I can see where like the lashes are kind of teaming up and ultimately looking like less because this brush is just not great at separating out. A spiraled brush like this is never gonna be super good at that. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to give them as much as I can do. I'm cracking open the Rose Oil Lip Balm, friends. Go from clear to your unique lip color, paraben-free, phthalate-free. While most things from Be Pure are made in the USA, the mascara is made in China, and so is this, just so you are aware. This pH-adapting lip balm changes with each individual, creating a custom tint. They're giving you some examples, I guess, of what that tint could be. Will it be more red, pink, berry? Hydrating rose oil. Oh, I really want this to be good. They had a lot of this on hand. It was my first time seeing it in store. So cute little rose gold packaging. Honestly looks, the cut of the balm, like it looks good. Oh my gosh, she's immediately giving hot pink. This is one of those things where I've never really trusted that, oh, you're adjusting to my perfect shade. I think you have a set point. It's gonna be hot pink, and it's giving me all that hot pink just immediately, like the old school color changing lipsticks. I'm not one to completely steer clear of a hot pink lip, but I think she's gonna give that color to anybody. Or is this just like my soul's color? Bright pink. Maybe it is. If anybody else has this, tell me, what color did it immediately turn on you? I'm willing to bet it's pink on everybody. Oh no, I accidentally dabbed some there. See, even my cheek was turning hot pink on that spot. It's not very moisturizing, yet I have to admit it feels somewhat balmy, but not like wow with the moisture. I wanted it to be a little bit softer. I didn't want it to be like one of those kid color changing lipstick experiences. This mascara, while it doesn't feel like super wet, I can tell it's still getting fully dry. But wow, what's the takeaway on this video? All in all, I was very impressed with the way my Dollar Tree complexion came together. I don't know that the Blur face primer did so much blurring, but it felt rich and hydrating, and I think that was good for the Serum foundation that was not all that rich, was just kind of thin and light, and I think the two came together actually pretty well. One of the things I was most impressed with was this Hydrating Under Eye Concealer. I thought the shade Fair really did work well for me. It gave a lot of hydration. I just would have set it with a little different thing, and I think I would have really gone through the roof with this. But just thinking about like the generous amount in it, getting a ton for $1.25 there. It did well. This LA Colors powder, I'm not saying bad powder, I'm saying richer than you think it's going to be, so if you are going to use it like under eye setting powder, the tone is totally brightening. Just use a brush so you get a lighter application, like a little dab, tap off excess, light setting. The bronzer wasn't new to me this go round. I knew I liked that. That's a pretty darn good bronzer, but I love the blush. I love this line, the Be Pure Essentially Ageless. I know I recognize the shade that's kind of like a dusty peach that I had from before. They had that on hand, but this pink was new to me and I like that. Eyeshadow. I mean, look at that totally good for the day look. I could have shown up on this video not telling you anything about where my products came from, and I don't think anybody would pick apart that eye look. But I would have to admit the dark matte brown is not really what you see is what you get, but it can execute a look. You can get it together with that. The mascara, not my fave, but not the worst by any means. It was able to build. It could have created the look of more lashes if it was a different style of brush, but honestly, not that bad. This, I think they kind of BS'd us on the whole, like, what's your shade gonna be? Like, there's some big mystery. I had a hunch that this is gonna default to hot pink, and unfortunately it did. I thought maybe it could be a little more subtle than that, a little more like soft rosy. If you got any shade other than this, let me know in the comments section. But this was not all Dollar Tree had. You know, there were quite a few other things. There were quite a few like eyeliner options, mascara options, different little things for eyeshadow, some various tools. I don't know that I saw a lot in the way of brushes at my store, but I did see different sponges and things like that. So you have options at the Dollar Tree, and you can totally get a look that I don't think anybody would raise an eyebrow at. And I'm not mad at that pop of hot pink on my lips. I'll do that. Thank you for your time, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your latest finds from Dollar Tree, and I'll see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.